welcome back to another Wednesday live stream. I am once again on time, huzzah! But being on time means I'm not prepared because I was a little bit late getting in from work today. So I hope you will excuse me as I just finished setting up. There we are. Let me get my seat of power sorted out. Oh, there we are. Right. So in today's video, what I thought we would look at is we would do. Let me move that camera over a little bit. There we go. I'm sort of hanging off the edge of the table here, but never mind. Hang on. Ugh. Never let it say I'm never prepared. There we are. Let's put that in there. There we are. At least it's consistent now. Right. So today, what I thought we'd look at is the packs of the troops. So their backpacks. We've not looked at those yet. I thought we'd do the bear skins, the seal skins. Hello, Menno Timpo. Hello. Nice to see our Dutch friends here. I thought we'd do the bear skins or the seal skins today as well. And I also want to highlight the white uniforms. Now, last week we did the straps and belts. This week I want to do the actual uniform itself. I did have a bit of plastic, and here we are. There we are. That's to use as my palette. Again, never let it be said I am not prepared. There we are. You actually can say I'm not prepared because I very, very rarely am. So there we go. Right. So yeah, we're going to start off with the packs. Then we're going to move to the uniform. Then we're going to do the headdress, and then the front of the seal skin. I'm going to do the plumes and the back of the the flame that hangs down. I'm going to do that first, and then we'll do the front of the bearskins. Just in that case, it means that any red that gets onto the dark brown sealskin, it means that we can. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? Occasionally, I try and log in to YouTube using Bing because that's like my automatic one for my laptop, and I get to see normie YouTube, and oh my good god, it's horrendous. It really is awful. So here we are, back into my friendly YouTube of creepypastas, film reviews, and history videos. So that's a scary look into my YouTube habits there. Oh, and a lot of like pop culture stuff. Now, the reason I like to get this up is because it means I can see the comments. So apologies if I've missed any comments so far, but they should be coming up very shortly. There we are. How's the sound quality, guys? Let me know if it drops off as well, because I'm currently running it off the Wi-Fi, which hopefully is going to carry on working. We'll be going for about an hour. Backpacks are as annoying as muskets to paint. Yes, no, they absolutely are. Thanks, Damjan. That's great to hear. Welcome. Yes, they really are. I'm not a fan of backpacks as much as I'm not a fan of muskets. So probably Napoleonics is not a very good. It's not a very good period for me, is it? If I don't like packs or muskets, there's a lot of that going on. So I should maybe think of something else. But never mind. It's a bit late for that now. Hello, Glenn. I certainly did, Dan. Yeah, it's not. I need to make sure the backs of these are painted well as well, because they are Spanish, so the backs will be facing the enemy for the vast majority of the game. So. Joke. For any Spanish listeners out there. So again, I'm trying to avoid the straps if I can. It's not necessarily the end of the world if I do catch them. This is why I'm doing this bit first. White, and that I'll and do any bits of the strapping or like that I've accidentally caught with the brown. So. Not necessarily the end of the world, but I'm going to try and be as neat as I can. It's a bit awkward with where the camera is. That might be a bit easier. There we are. Oh, someone's fallen asleep on their horn, apparently. Apologies for that. I've had to open the window. It's quite cold today. But the reason I do the painting up here in the attic is because it gets the sun all day. So it's really nice for that. The light's really good. But it does make it very hot in here. Still avoiding Warlord's epic Napoleonics. No, no, no. Still avoiding Warlord's epic Napoleonics. No, 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 I'm not. I've finished my British regiment, or battalion, I should say. I've given them yellow facings. I need to do the officer, the mounted officer, and the artillery. But yeah, no. I'm not necessarily avoiding them. I'm sticking with the 28s for now. But I will certainly do the epics at some point. You just chose to share your suffering. Yeah, absolutely. It's to make sure I do it. That's the thing. Greetings, Stephen Tyler from Kansas City. Surely not the Stephen Tyler. I mean, if you are, that's great. If you're not, that's equally cool. Oh dear, someone really is beeping on their horn, aren't they? Blimey, Charlie, you may not hear the familiar shuddering and chunking of my my printer in the background today. That is because my printer is broken. So it's done sterling work. It's printed out many models, some of whom I may be base coating later. If I get a chance on the stream, I'm going to whack the old Apothecary White on them. But yes, alas, the Anycubic Photon S is no more. So I'm going to be upgrading to the Anycubic Photon Z, which is going to be able to do at least half a battalion at a time. So that's nice. They also say as well it's designed for its speed. Man out Timber Live Tight. That's exactly what I was thinking. I read a thing today which was saying these were the top 10 actresses that was. So I recently went back on Twitter since Elon Musk bought it. I went back on Twitter, and one of the first sort of adverticles that came up was these 10 actors were horribly miscast. And the first one was Liv Tyler as Arwen. Just like, oh my God, this is why I left Twitter. So, yeah, so there you go. I don't know if I'm going to reactivate my my account, but if that's the kind of dreck that's on there, I might give it a miss. Christopher Hornet, I'm late. Sorry, don't you worry, Christopher. We are here for you, my friend. You do not need to be on time. It's whenever suits you, buddy. Good afternoon, Comradson. Seat of power, the throne of the powers. Absolutely. I say the seat of power. It's a IKEA wheelie chair, but I don't know. I can't work out if it's comfortable or not. I might need to get a gaming chair. That'd be the best one, I think. Not not that one, Stephen. Well, you had us going for a while there, so you're still more than welcome. Although you'd be even more welcome if you had Liv Tyler's phone number, I reckon. So. Oh well, thank you very much, Andrew. Yeah, you sound shocked. I've been on time with these live streams. I'm doing pretty well with them. The pre-recorded videos, which have no real excuse not to be on time, they're the ones that tend to be late. But yeah, I'm getting to grips with how long it's taking to export videos with my new camera now. So that's definitely helping. Spoiler: it's a lot longer. Oh, excuse me. It is, however, a much better camera, so that's the flip side of that. Let me just get these grenadiers out of the way. So the question I wanted to ask you chaps today, maybe a bit of a debate going on, is Warlord Game. No, sorry, not Warlord. Perry's. Perry's announced their new Russian senior command yesterday. Now, I was talking to General Dan about it. In fact, he sent me the pictures. And I was like, they are an instant auto buy for me. Obviously, I've got quite a substantial Russian army. And of the personalities that are on there, I think I've probably got most of them already. So I bought a few from Commissar Miniatures, which are particularly, I very much doubt you'll be able to get them anymore, with them being a Russian company. But yeah, so I've got most of them from Commissar Miniatures, but I'm still going to buy them again anyway. And I wanted to ask, do you guys have a manufacturer that you are absolutely loyal to? If so, which one? Why do you have your loyalty to that manufacturer? So despite already owning the figures from Commissar Miniatures, I'm still going to buy them in Perry's because most of my miniatures are from Perry's. Although that said, most of my Russians are actually from Warlord. But yeah, do you guys have a go-to manufacturer? And if so, what makes them your go-to? That could be in any scale. Like for me, my 20 mils, they are wherever possible Zvezda. Because, well, again, another company which you probably can't get hold of, because they are, for my money, the best 20 mils on the market. And I include metal in that. I think they're absolutely superb. Creepy bastards. So when are you going to do silver bayonets? You know what? Actually, I'm really tempted to do silver bayonets, especially the thing that I mean, I want to do it, but it's just a question of getting around to it. Unfortunately, the thing that really swung me to do it was the fact that you get Jonathan Strange in the British set. I also acquired that you get like a voodoo priestess in the French set as well. I like that it's that sort of Louisiana Bayou American Gothic type feel added to the Napoleonic War. I think that's pretty cool. But there is absolutely no loyalty in Sorrow Girls, but the Perrys are quite close. Yeah, I think they probably are. But what is it about the Perrys that make people so I mean, fanatical is not quite the right word, but so loyal to the Perrys? Why them and not say, Front Rank or Old Glory or any of the companies that have been going for even longer than the Perrys? They've got a bigger range, but people don't seem as invested as they do in the Perrys. So yeah, no. What are people's thoughts on that? Why do they think that is? So the advert reminded me to pick the British ADCs. Yeah, that's a lovely set. Actually, I've got the British ADCs. I was looking for years. I was like, my command bases are just missing something. I didn't really know what it was, and then the ADCs came out, and they're absolutely sweet. I really, really like them now. Perry's, for me, the army deals are great. Loads up the mountain of shame. No, it's not the mountain of shame. It's the mountain of opportunity. That's the way to look at it. Unfortunately, my mountain of opportunity has become both sides of my cellar of opportunity. It's like I've got one side, I've got like some plastic racking down there, and it does look a little like a Games Workshop down there. I'm not gonna lie. I need to get the merchandising guide so I can make sure everything's in the right place. I try and stay consistent. Henry Martin says, I try and stay consistent with whatever the bulk of the army is made up of. Times are tough at the moment, so I'm definitely more companies, even if they do a sale or something like that, it means that it's worth them doing. I mean, I have 2 brigade deals from Morawski Miniatures, and I'm planning doing a how to start collecting the Duchy of Warsaw. And I went onto their website, and I mean the models are nice, but the prices made my hair curl. They are not cheap. So yeah, the fact they had the brigade deals for 150 quid was an absolute no-brainer for me. In fact, in the end, I think I've got 2 because I think they ran that offer twice, and I bought 1 brigade each time. And the chap who runs the company, bless him, he offered me the chance to change out the light cavalry in there because he knew I'd obviously bought the first one, which was really, really nice of him. I mean, excellent customer service. I'm in no way complaining about the quality of the minis or the service or anything like that. I'm not even particularly complaining about the price. Just they are on the more expensive end of the minis. Especially now, as I think I've back to Kickstarter to get all the STL files for the polls. So they may end up on the old the Bay of E. I'm not sure yet. Right, so just getting in between these guys, get the packs sorted. There we are. Sort that one out there. Just goes to show, make sure you check your models from 360 degrees, because I've hardly done any of the size of the packs here. There we go. That's that one. I think I might have done that last one off camera. Apologies for that. They're all done on this. Oh no, they're not. So here, God, I really dialed this guy in, didn't I? Bloody hell. Shocking. Right, okay. So that's all them done now. Happy with them. On to the next ones. It shouldn't take as long because we've got the same number of figures, but neither of the standard bearers are wearing packs. So that's what. Perry's for me. We've gone with that one already. Danjan, in my opinion, Perry's are widely available, customer-friendly, and cheap goods sculpts, while others are either not up to their standard, cough cough warlord, yeah, that's true, or mostly lead models. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I think the lead models as well, they can be very difficult to get hold of. I mean, the Perrys can as well with their metal ranges. But yeah, I've said before. Now I appreciate. I'm very lucky here, but we have 4 wargaming shops in Sheffield, if you include Games Workshop. In fact, no, if you don't include Games Workshop, we've got 4. And 3 of them sell the Perrys. So, yeah, no, that's reasonable. One's got like a sort of under-the-counter thing, like membership thing as well. So 5 if you include that one. So... Andrew Breeden with $20 donation. That's ludicrously generous. Thank you very much, Andrew. That's really. Oh, thank you very much. That's the next box of Spaniards. That's the next battalion. That'll probably be. Well, I've had 2 donations, so yours will be a battalion of the Zamora Grenadier. Well, not just Grenadiers, the Zamora Regiment. So thank you very much for that, Andrew. That's much appreciated. I look forward to painting the Zamoras after I've done these guys. So whenever you see the dudes with the black facings, they'll be yours. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, Archie. Hello. I'm just scrolling up a little bit. Andreas Pearson. Perrys have everything, most of it in plastics for the masses, and no great sculpts for the characters. If you're into kit bashing for imaginations, then the sky's the limit. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sort of, we've seen on my start collecting videos that I have something of a bias, shall we say. But yes, no, they are very good. I thought of painting 20mm less hours as detailed as 28mm was a folly. It's utter madness. Yes, no, it is. Hello, Colin. Nice to see you, buddy. Devotion to AB Miniatures and Blue Moon. I don't call you an oddball at all. Those AB Minis are absolutely gorgeous. They're really, really nice. In fact, I've seen a lot. I could be wrong. Just tell me if I am, but I think they do a LaSalle, don't they? Like, as from the painting. And it's absolutely stunning. It may not be LaSalle. It might be the guy with the leopard skin saddlecloth. The Count does something or other. But I'm sure I've seen a model from AB, and it's absolutely gorgeous. For 18mm, it's absolutely stunning. Although I do have to chuckle a little bit at the AB fans who criticised Warlord for making a 12mm scale. Oh, it's a proprietary scale. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but so is 18mm. Now, that's not a criticism, merely an observation. But no, AB are absolutely fantastic. Damn, I'm still waiting for the Perry Prussian cavalry box. Absolutely, mate. I am also. Which reminds me, I'll put this out now. Anyone who wants to send me the Russian heads from their Prussian cavalry, feel free. So that is something that I would gratefully accept. Andrew Breeden, we are getting to your very generous super chat. Thank you. And you have said, keep the great contact. Learning a lot from you. Cheers. Well, no, cheers to you, buddy. I'm glad you're learning a lot. Is there anything in particular that you're enjoying listening to, or anything that you would like to hear more about? I've got a few ideas myself going forward. I've got this October's special subject already on the drawing board. I've not really written any scripts for it yet. So what we're now, we're basically in May, aren't we? So I'd probably best get cracking on that one. Just for those of you who don't know, that's roughly the lead time for a big video like this. I've been writing the latest Napoleonic figures one. It's taken me around about 4 weeks at the moment, and we're up to 1807, and he's got a much bigger role to play later on in the war. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit concerned about how long the video. I think we're looking at Muhammad Ali Pasha, like an hour-long video length on this guy. The more I read about him, the more fascinating he is, and that's absolutely dangerous. That's really deadly. I think I might have to kill my darlings on this one and prune it back to less than half an hour. We'll have to see. We'll see. Be careful asking for Russian heads over you. Yeah, no, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah. Well, what I want to do with them, I should explain for what's her name? Wijiki. So one of the regiments of Russian Kraziers, the name escapes. I want to say it's the 13th, but I'm fairly certain that's not true. But had Russian helmets. So I'm going to use the spare helmets from the someone who uses them for Prussian cavalry. Buy a box of Perry French Kraziers and just kit bash them, bang the heads on top. Paint them with the steel cuirasses instead of the black of the Russians, and then jobs are good. Hey, got questions? Are you a Sussy Backer follower? I'm a little I don't know, Vietnite. Am I? That sounds like something that's between me and my dominatrix, I have to say. I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Is that a YouTuber? If it is, I shall check them out. Just for clarity, I don't really have a dominatrix. I can't afford mad spending like that. Questions, please. Do I have to paint chin straps with the Shakos? On some drawers, well, it depends. Usually on the figures, certainly on the Perrys, they are modelled on either around the front, around the brim, or actually around the chin. I've just been painting up some Württembergers as well from Piano Miniatures, and they've got the same thing. What I would suggest is, if you can, do the chin straps, and the reason is it's a huge pain in the arse. I'm aware of that, but it frames the face really nicely. And it just makes them look a little bit more. It sort of separates the face from the rest of the model, which I find is quite useful. It makes your models look better than they necessarily are, shall we say? There we are. I'm doing the sides of the packs as we go this time. I think that's dependent on the shape. Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, some of them had like the brass chin scales as well. So that's to particularly cavalry, which is to stop it, stop them getting cut. It's like an armored thing for your Shako strap or your helmet strap, I guess it'd be. Like Kraziers, they had armored chin scales because obviously they're expected to be bashing about in close combat. How you doing, man? Thank you, William Blows. I am absolutely fine, although apparently I've got a bit of the sniffles. That's not good. How are you, brother? More importantly, you only just found the channel. Well, that's what we're here for, dude. We've been here a while, but it's always nice to see people find the channel. I don't really publicize it as much as I perhaps should do. I certainly know, like, say, Storm of Steel. I know I talk about him a lot on this channel, but he really uses Twitter quite a lot. But I still can't get over Liv Tyler being miscast as Arwen. What on earth was that about? I do not know. Right, so that's all the packs, he said. Washed his brush out, and then noticed that he's not done the top of the pack there. I don't know. What on earth is this chap doing? There we are. So that's all the packs done. Lovely. Only taken 25 minutes. Easy. Right, so what I'm going to look to do now is let's do the uniforms. Let's get the white done on those. Then we will do the Shaco, the bicorn plumes and the flames on the bearskins. And then we are good to go. Now, the Corax white, as you can see, is one absolute mess that is. This is like quite typical of Games Workshop's new paints. It's one of the reasons I don't really use their whites anymore. But you can work it up just by getting some on the brush, add a bit of water, and you're good to go. That's maybe a little bit too much water there. But we'll get it up. We're not going to use that much anyway, because we're only using it to highlight. There we go. We go wash out because it got right up to the ferrule there. And I'm going to swap brushes for a slightly better brush. Right, so let's blow those out of the way, let their packs dry, and let's get back to the line. So I'm going to pick up, I'm going to make the paint fairly watery, and I just want to do very quickly, just pick up the raised areas here. So I can be a little bit rough and ready on this one. I don't necessarily, I wouldn't necessarily call it a highlight. Well, no, it is a highlight, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a second layer, because it is very much just picking up the areas that your opponent's going to see across the table. Now, the reason I want to use Corax white, even though it's an absolute horror show, as you've seen there, is because it's not actually white, it's slightly grey. So that means that you get quite a nice nice variation between the grey of the uniform, or the white grey of the uniform, and the white of the straps that we did last week. So there we go. This is where I'm going to pick out the collars as well. So I'm just going to knock the camera with my brush. That was a deliberate move, honest. There you go, just took that in underneath his arm. I have to say, I was planning on I wasn't planning on doing this stage, but I had a look at them and I was a little bit disappointed with the way they were looking. They were far too grey from the apothecary white. That's okay. I mean, it's designed to be a shading base layer like this, so that's fair enough. It did what it was designed to do. The models that it really shows up on are the standard bearers. Because they don't have any packs on, you can really see the backs of them quite well. Because it's quite a large flat area, it really does look very grey on there. Now, the question is, would the Spanish have had white uniforms? Probably not. When you've been living in a field for any length, literally like a day, your white uniform isn't going to be white very long. But that said, they would brush them, try and brush all the mud off them, and they would rub chalk on the uniform as well. So that is what they would use to whiten their uniforms. Obviously, the chalk wouldn't last very long, but if you wanted to go on parade, or if you wanted to dress your best for the enemy, as regiments invariably did in the Napoleonic Wars, then you bang the chalk out, get it on your uniform. Job's a good one. So there we go. Just along his collar there. There we are. How's the chat coming along? Andreas Pearson, well, the sanity has been on far too long. Yeah, you do Napoleonics, man. There's no sanity allowed. There we go. So just bung the top of his sleeve there. It's slightly different to the other one. He's got his arm held across him like so. Very nice. So as you can see, this is more, I call it an impressionist style before, and it very much is that. I'm not necessarily painting every part of the model. I'm not painting all the highlights. I'm just giving a rough impression of the highlights. A little bit. My moustache is in my mouth now. Right. Need to trim. Right. Yeah. Sorry if I'm a little bit quiet, guys. I'm just concentrating on this area here. Lots of college stuff on my end. Astronomy and chemistry can be a pain. Ooh, blimey. Yeah, no, I can imagine. Been doing research into Eugène de Beauharnais. Ooh, well, you and me both, brother. You'd think there'd be more stuff of interest in Napoleon Simpson. Yeah, you would. And he's a fascinating guy, the Viceroy of Italy. I do have a biography on him, which I've not really delved into yet. But he is a really interesting guy because he's around right from the beginning. He's around from the campaign in Egypt right through to 1814. He was also one of the most successful French commanders to fight independently without Napoleon supervising him, particularly in 1814. His campaign against the Austrians in northern Italy was very impressive. I would argue it makes him one of the best generals of the Napoleonic era that wasn't a marshal. I actually think he was a better general than many of the marshals, and I certainly think he was a better general than many of the marshals in 1814. I think people like Ney and Soult were just, I think they just had enough. Mentally, I think they were just shattered. But astronomy and chemistry, that's very impressive indeed. I'm very interested in astronomy, but I'm terrible at maths. So no further research into that for me, I don't think. But I do enjoy watching Cool Worlds. That's an absolutely awesome YouTube channel. That's highly recommended. He's a guy who's searching for exomoons. So yeah, no, I would definitely recommend that one. He did a video on if the solar system or the sun, the life of the sun, if it were a year, and it's perhaps one of the most existentially depressing things I've ever sat through. But very interesting, very interesting. But it's very depressing as well. So let's get this guy's collar done and this one. Now this guy here, I'm just doing the collar of him. The moment he doesn't have a like an edging on his collar, it's just straight up, whereas the other guy does. So I don't know if they had different collars, or as I suspect, some of them are cast better than others. That would be my feeling on the matter. Answer to question: Sussy Backer is a sussy imposter that kills his crewmates. If you didn't know, oh no, I did not know that. Well, no, I don't think I'd kill my crewmates. Probably fire on my own men, but like from a different battalion. I wouldn't want to do it like my actual mates. No. But I've just started collecting Skaven for Warhammer, so I'm definitely into firing warp lightning cannons at my own guys. Yeah, I'm all about that. Would have painted epoxy instead of Gacha bar. Yeah, absolutely. Would dirtying up the uniforms be the same as weathering for model vehicles? It was funny you should say that, actually, because I don't dirty up my uniforms. However, I have brought up Steel Legion Drab, and that is going to be used to very lightly dry brush the boots to make it look like they're going through dust. Now, obviously, it's Spain, so it's reasonably dry. I mean, not always, but most of the time. So, yes, I'm going to do a very light dry brush on their feet. It's certainly not as integral to the figures as it would be on vehicles. I see a lot of vehicle painting. It's almost the vehicle is the palette for the weathering. I've seen quite a lot of that, particularly these days. It seems to be quite a popular art technique. Seems to be that it's more about the weathering and the effects than it is the actual vehicle. My brother certainly he's very much into that kind of thing. He paints a lot of 40k grim dark, as he calls it, where he will make stuff all rusty and hit with nuclear energy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's more my brother's jam than mine. But yeah, I will be dusting up the boots. I once saw a guy who was selling an Austrian army that it was quite nicely painted. It was all, he'd done all the white, all that stuff. Yeah, really good. And then he looked like he'd taken like a 2-inch brush and just slapped like, chocolate brown on them to make it look like mud. And it took what could have been, a decent paint job. And it looks absolutely appalling. It really was. And it was a real shame because the paint job underneath it was actually quite nice. But yeah, needless to say, I didn't buy any. White uniforms always gives me a little PTSD over the French officer. We had a patient in the. I probably shouldn't say this. This is breaking patient confidentiality. But we had a patient in a few months ago who was called Tarleton, and they were from like the Merseyside area. So I don't know if they were related to Bannister Tarleton, but he was from that area. In fact, quite interestingly, I've read it once and I've not been able to find it since. But he was a member of Parliament afterwards, and he was a member of Parliament in 1815, and he gave quite a long speech, really advocating for not declaring war on Napoleon when he came back from exile. He was a great, it was sort of, he'd seen enough bloodshed and he didn't want to see any more, was his argument. Now, we won the Battle of Waterloo, so we can turn around and say he was in the wrong there because we won. But had we not have won, had the war dragged on 10 more years, people may know that speech a little better. But he also designed the Tarleton hat, so the guy gets a pass in my book. Sorry, Americans. The Prussians are a lot of the army of my country, Spain. Well, these are Spanish. These are not Prussians. These are Spanish. But in what way do the Prussians remind you of the Spanish? That's quite an interesting point to make. I'm looking forward to adding some 1806 Saxons to my army, actually. To my 1809 French. They've still got the same uniform. There's some suggestion that they replaced them before 1809, but they certainly didn't in my army because I want to paint them. And that is good enough for me. And just quickly, again, like I say, I'm not being too. I'm probably using too fine a brush for this. I probably could get away with using a bigger brush. I might switch brushes to my general brush for the grenadiers. Actually, one of the things as well is if you miss a bit on a model or you accidentally go over the musket on his leg or something like that, and you're like, oh, I really don't want to go back and paint the whole thing again, then he just goes in the second rank, doesn't he? That's the other nice thing about these. Let's just get down there. This guy here, the marching one, he is without doubt my favourite pose. He's pretty simple. He's not exactly the world's most setting the world on fire, but I do think he is the best out of this box. This one's not bad. He's just walking a little bit awkward. If his body were sort of twisted round, so he was actually sort of facing the way he was walking, it would be much better. But alas, I've missed a load of black on his boot as well. Someone's going to be getting extra weathering. There we go. Let me just quickly spin them around here. I've also forgot his cuff. Blimey. Well, what was I saying about the second rank guy? You, sir, have just been relegated to the second rank. So quickly on the back here. You know what? I am going to switch brushes. I blame the airbrush for the prevalence of weathering. It makes it all so much easier. Yes, it does actually. But that said, airbrushing is a technique in of itself. There's no throwing no shade on people doing that. I mean, it's up to you. It really is up to you, William. You can you can do it if you want. As I say, I'm going to do it on these guys, but I don't normally. But I just fancy doing it on these guys. I think less is more. I think that's what the point of my story was, which I did not get across. I think when it comes to doing like dust or mud or whatever, I definitely think a less is more approach is the way to go. That said, I've done on my First World War army. I've got a Flames of War 50mm army, and I've done mud all over the wheel on that of the artillery. So that looks pretty sweet, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. So more is more for First World War, I think, but less is more generally. Because also as well, you know, you've done all that work on the uniform. You don't want to obscure it all. Equipment, I guess, would be a different matter. You could do on limbers or gun carriages, things like that. You've got a bit more of a canvas for doing weathering, I guess. So there is that as well. I'm saying weathering, I mean, you know, like weather effects and things like that as well. There we go. As I say, see, so it's so much quicker with a larger brush here, because I'm not being precious about it. I'm just almost dry brushing to get the white on. So that's them done. Just noticed his legs could do with maybe a little bit more of a go over. There we go. I'm absolutely gutted today. There was a 1st of June Black Sales event in Boards and Swords in Derby. Now, I've been to Boards and Swords a few times, and I didn't even know about it. But it sold out, unfortunately. So I've asked them to put me on the reserve list. And the fleet of I've got an American fleet actually, but I've got plenty of ships rigged and ready for painting. So I may end up doing a different fleet. We'll see. We'll see what the organisers want it to be. Probably won't be the British though. I'll probably be the dastardly French. So yeah, you can see now I'm being much rougher. Really just dry brushing it on. Well, over brushing it really. Oh, bit on the musket there. Rub that off. Unfortunately, when you smudge on a model and he goes into the second rank, I have had it where I've had too many guys going into the second rank and no one into the front rank. So that is something to watch out for. You can get away with it on 2 or 3, but any more than that, you might run into trouble. There we go. Quickly Bosch down there. Alberto, hello. Hello, Alberto. Hail. Hablas Español. Yes, these are the Spanish troops. I'm doing these as the Regiment Infanta, I think. Possibly not. I can't really remember. It'll come to me hopefully. There we go. They are part of Le Romana's division when he went to Denmark. So they're the premier battalion of that. Thanks to very generous donations, I've already got the funds for the Zamora regiment. So that'll be the next one. I've missed his cuff as well. Blimey, Charlie. What am I about? There we go. Just to let you know as well, just to shill my my channel a little bit, there is a membership button as well. You don't really get anything for being a member, but they are much appreciated. I know in these straitened times though, it's not necessarily easy for everyone. In fact, I've had a chap who stopped his membership this week, and that's absolutely fair enough. He we've all got to make just tough decisions these days. It's certainly getting rough out there. But yes, no, there is a little join button. If you don't, I think it's $3.99 a month, and that just that helps fund the channel. I saved it up before, and that's what paid for the piano miniatures Kickstarter. So Army to be seen soon on the channel. The reason it's not been seen yet is because it's not painted, but I'm getting there. I've got the light battalion to do next. Really looking forward to getting those done. I've done half the battalion already, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're actually, I would say, big claim this one. I would say they're probably the nicest paint job I've done on a battalion so far. So hopefully I'll keep the interest up for the second half, and they'll look just as nice as the first ones do. So there we go. There we are. There. I found a weathering powder subtle and effective. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I bought some weathering powder, and I to be honest, it's me. It wasn't the powder. It was absolutely me. I couldn't really work out how to get the best effect from it. This was a long old time ago, so I didn't really look at YouTube videos and things back then. So if I find it, I think I know where it is. If I find it again, I think it's in with my 15mm French actually. Then not because it's related to them, just because it happens to be in the same box. Then I should try it again. I think I've got like a city dusk, which my new Empire army is being painted as if it's in like a marble city centre. So that might work quite nicely on them actually. Right, there we are. I think we're just about done. Let's get some collars going on. Again, it's not necessarily the end of the world if I get it on the straps here, because it's all the same colour anyway. Bung that down there. This guy here. This just neatens up where you've got the flesh on the collar as well. One of the things I find about painting Napoleonics, and it's something that's not necessarily very easy to know, but you'll pick it up as you go, is the order of what to paint the models in. I find that's a massive part of it. If you paint the models in the right order, you cannot worry about getting paint on the wrong area, because you're going to paint over it anyway. Don Cossack, didn't expect that I would be looking at someone painting while doing it myself. Can I work on the French 4th in those quirky white uniforms? Ah, yes, very good. Is that for the Elau campaign? I tried one of my gaming groups to turn away from the 100 Days campaign and get to the 1806, 1807 campaigns. I suppose it's a different image. Yeah, I suppose it is, William. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. It's what we associate with the different conflicts, isn't it? I suppose we associate the uniforms, the dash, and the Elan with the Napoleonics, and as you say, the drab and dreary with 19. Well, it's interesting because my army is 1914. And the mud and all that stuff wasn't really so much of a factor then. It's certainly, I mean, well, in the UK, everyone associates the Somme with being muddy and all that stuff. It's not actually strictly true, because it was Passchendaele. It was where all the mud was. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Somme was pretty bad because it destroyed the water table. All the shelling did, but the image of guns in their axles in the mud and things like that—that's more of a Passchendaele thing than a Somme. But yeah, no, in the British public consciousness, the Somme is where all the mud and blood is. So yeah, no, that's quite interesting. Ah, yes. Any news about your plans for meeting at that famous Mexican restaurant of yours? Ah, yes. Actually, I've been working on a rules pack for it, and it's proving slightly more challenging than I thought. But I think I might be overthinking it at the same time. So one of the problems I've got is the way the rules are. They're fairly loosey-goosey, which is good if you've got a gaming group that you sort of work these things out yourself. But obviously, when people come with different expectations, different ideas, there can be the potential, not for conflict, but the potential for misunderstanding, shall we say. So I'm just working out some of that stuff now, but hopefully in the next by the end of May at the very latest, I should hope to have something in place. I'm currently looking at the end of this year, maybe October, but it may end up just nosing over into next year. I know January is quite a difficult month for a lot of people, so it may end up being February or March next year. But yes. No, it's definitely still on the cards. I'm slightly focused at the moment. We've got our Linny game coming up at the end of May. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be a weekend live stream, very similar to how we did with Catrabar. Well, not very similar. Identical to how we did with Catrabar. Only this time I'm going to remember to turn on the stream in the morning, hopefully. But yes, so it'll be the same as that. So make sure you check that out. I shall be reminding people in the videos running up to it. But yeah, that's the second part of our 100 Days campaign. In the first part, we fought the Battle of Catrabar, where General Dan and I were brothers in arms. We fought side by side and brought victory for the Emperor. And someone on our team, it was me, killed the Duke of Wellington. So yeah, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Linny goes and how that would affect the rest of the 100 Days campaign. If the French win, we might finally get those Russians that I've been banging on for everyone to buy. As they can come in and take care of business, which is something you can't say about them these days, that's for sure. Going back to Tarleton, I believe it was during the speech he held a hand up. He lost 2 fingers in America to illustrate the point. Yes, no, I believe it was. I mean, he's certainly. I mean, obviously he's not as bad as he was made out to be in The Patriot, but I'm sure he wasn't a nice man either. But you certainly couldn't accuse the man of cowardice, that's for sure. Incidentally, the pub just down the road has a life-size painting of him. Wow, okay, where's that then? Is that in Merseyside, or is that somewhere else? That's cool. That's quite a random guy to have. That's pretty cool. I like that. I fix powders with hairspray. Yes, now I've heard about that. Yeah. I went to a Forge World Open day once, and the stuff they use on their models, you would not believe. Hairsprays, floor lacquer, car paint stripper, all sorts of weird stuff, man. But a wire wall for buffing, all sorts of stuff. But it obviously works because their models are pretty impressive. Thompson lost his whole damn brigade in our Club Black Powder game at the weekend. Ugh. Tried to outflank our Virginians and ran right into our oncoming French allies. Ugh. Oh, no. Still, I'm sure that's how he would have wanted to go. He's a sort of proto-LaSalle, isn't he? Now, we're getting to a bit here where it's sort of, where does the strap of the musket end and the plume meet? It's not super distinct. I don't think it really matters, because it's going to be wherever I decide with the paintbrush. But again, just something to be aware of with these Warlord Spanish. That's a little indistinct. I had to check to know what colour these plumes were. When I found out they were red, really, really pleased, because I think they really... I mean, compare these two models here, just by having that red plume, really brings the model out. I think it's really good. When I do the silver epaulets on these guys as well, I think that's going to help. I may end up doing them gold. I'm not sure yet. Now, that'll be a little bit of a... I think they're almost certainly going to be silver. But because the white is a cold colour, painting the epaulets gold, which is a warm, may improve the look of the model. Now, I know you're not really supposed to do that. But, you know what? It's my army. So, I'll cry if I want to. Give me a second. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Shocking behaviour. Right. So that's the plumes done. Let's get these these bags done. Funny thing, it's General Passchendaele Plume was a better general, the kind of man and the guy in charge of the battle over a field of poppies. Yeah, well, Haig's an interesting guy. Very interesting guy. I'm no massive fan of him myself. He was a big spiritualist, and he believed that he was like chosen by God to lead the British Army, which, I mean, your religious beliefs are your religious beliefs, but I think if you go around saying you were chosen by God, you need some, you got to back that up, really. And he was certainly in good company as a spiritualist. I'm not necessarily mocking him for that. Conan Doyle had to bring Sherlock Holmes back because he spent all his money on spiritualists, and he was nearly bankrupt. So yeah, no, he was definitely in good company. Could you please say the name of that city clearly, because I don't know how to write it down and we couldn't find it. What's the what city is that? Sorry. Shropshire, Herefordshire. Oh, city where we shall meet. Ah, right, okay. That is a place. Well, it's not a city. It's a very, very tiny town called Holmfirth. So it's spelt Holm and then Firth. Now you won't be able to find it because it is teeny tiny. But it's very close to where I live, which is Sheffield. So Sheffeld. It's also very close to Huddersfield, which is Huddesfield. Yep, that's the one, Menno. Yep, that's how it's spelt. There was a very old sitcom that we had in the UK called Last of the Summer Wine, and that was filmed there. It was about sort of pensioners who were young at heart, shall we say. Weirdly, a mate of mine who is from Essex, he was like well into it. He was like, when we had an event there, he was, oh, I'm going to come up the day before and see all the Last of the Summer Wine locations. I was like, oh yeah, funny. He's like, no, I'm serious. Okay, very odd. United or Wednesday? Ah, that's the age-old question. Well, I live in Hillsborough, which is where Wednesday are based. But I'm not neither of them really. I tell you, the team I always make sure to see how they're doing is Woking. So that's the place in Surrey where I used to live. That's where I met Gerald Dan, actually, was when I was living and working in Woking. Well, I say living in Woking. I actually lived in where did I live for a time? It was in oh, where was it? It was oh, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called. Where Martians landed in the worlds anyway. I've still got Holmfirth in my head. No, it definitely wasn't Holmfirth. But yeah, no, that's where I lived for a while. John Longshore, they are indeed Spanish, yes. They are La Romana's division. Well, they're part of La Romana's division, which is great because it contains infantry, cavalry. Horsel, thank you, Dan. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Dan. Yes, it's for La Romana's division. So it's the troops who went to Denmark and fought there. They were trained by the Spanish. So they were trained by the French, I should say, and equipped by them. So they should be a little bit more uniform than perhaps, say, the army of Extremadura. Apologies for my appalling Spanish as well. I really do apologize. But yeah, they should be a little bit more not well trained. That's not the right word. They should be a little bit more trained in modern warfare, for the time, than the other Spanish troops. because they'd spent a bit of time training with the French. So yeah, no, it's a difficult one, because to say well trained is probably not fair. Just more trained in modern techniques of warfare, I would say. Which reminds me, I dug out my Battle Tactics of Napoleon and His Enemies by Nosworthy the other day. I'm girding my loins to go through that again. I also need to find my Napoleon's Polish Gamble as well. Yeah, that's up here somewhere. Remind me to do that before I go. Oh, we've already gone over time. We're at 2 minutes past 7. That's okay, though. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to... what am I going to do? Right, let's do the front of these seal skins. Let's get those painted. Let's get them washed. And then we can probably knock it on the head. So, there we are. Oh, you know what? I really don't know, Andreas. I've had quite a lot of people, actually, asking me to do a faction focus on Denmark. I've had quite... and Sweden as well. And I always say the same thing. I'm like, I'd love to, and I will do at some point. But I know absolutely nothing about them. And I mean nothing about Swedish and Danish armies of the Napoleonic Wars. All I know is that the Swedes wore top hats. And the only reason I know that is because the Perry models have got them. That's literally all I know. Didn't the Danish Grenadiers have red uniforms and bearskins as well? Which I always think is a great combo. As a Britisher, I should really, shouldn't I? Wednesday, he's educated. All football here. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Wednesday looked like they won yesterday. They won 3-2. They went 1-0 up. I went 2-1 down at half time, and then came back to win 3-2. So I didn't see the game, but that must have been an awesome game. So they are now looking reasonably secure for the playoffs. Maybe. So hopefully they'll go up this season. But we'll have to see. Hopefully United do as well. I mean, to be honest, I don't really care. I think Sheffield should have at least one team in the top flight, though. They used to have two when I was a kid. But Wednesday definitely went off the boil a little bit. Right, so with the bearskins, now I learned this from someone on the stream, but apologies, I can't remember who it was. If you're here, please make yourself known. Who told me that the bearskins that they wore were actually seal skin. Now, seals are weird. They've got like loads of different colours. They're sort of a grey, brown, green. I'm going to go with a dark brown. So I've used a chocolate brown on these. I've actually used Rhinox hide. I guess if I was using Vallejo, I'd probably use German camo brown, which I bought recently, and it's a very nice colour, actually. I'm doing a 50mm West German army for Team Yankee. So that's what I bought that for. But I could have just used this, I think. So, yeah, so I'm going to do them with this dark brown. Then I'm going to wash them black, which is going to take a lot of the brownness out of it. Dull it down a little bit. It may dull it down too much. If it does, I'll go back in with a quick dry brush, and we'll take it up from there. So we'll go around here. Realistically, with the Homeforth thing, I think there are better places to go, particularly if it's people coming from overseas. But Homeforth's pretty cool. But yeah, no, you might be better off going to London or something like that. I've just got a message from a friend of mine who's painting a model for me. He's just sent me the pictures. Now, I've not checked them out. I'll check them later. But it's going to be the new channel image. So LaSalle has served 4 years before the mast. He's done sterling work. But this is going to be a new logo for the channel. Hopefully, he's done a good job of it. I have no doubt in my mind that he's done a superb job of it. Oh, just knocked the camera with the brush there for look. I can never remember all the terms around Denmark in the Napoleonic Wars. Are they supposed to invade Sweden or just, yeah, I don't know. I think weren't the Swedes supposed to invade them? Maybe, and then the Russians got involved or something. I don't really know. In fact, to be honest, I need to start reading about the Russo-Swedish War for my my biography that I'm doing. Now, with this dark brown as well, you'll see, say on this chap here, he does not have a moustache, so I'm going to give him a nice chocolate brown moustache. There we are. Now, I won't be washing that with the black, so that should stay quite nicely brown. So one of the things with these, and it's the same with most bear skins, is they're quite heavily detailed. There's a lot of in-cutting. So you have to make sure you brush the way that the detail goes. So the detail is obviously going up and down here. So instead of brushing from side to side where you'll miss parts, make sure you brush up and down along the detail. And that should hopefully get it all in there. Now, when I wash the seal skins, the bear skins, I'm going to use a black, as I said. I'm also going to wash the muskets, the metal on the musket with that as well. That should bring out all that detail, such as the banding that holds the barrel to the stock. So that should be quite nice there. I've missed the side of the musket there, so I'm just going to use that dark brown for it. It's not ideal, but it works. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, the side of that musket was white, so that was going to show out quite a lot. So just bang it with the brown, and no one's going to say, "Oh, that's the same shade as his hat," because no one's really going to notice the side of that guy's musket. Oh, let's be honest. Once you stick them on a base, sort the basing out, glue the two flags on, have them in two ranks, no one's going to notice that. So, you know, if you are new to painting and you find the Napoleonic figures a little bit daunting, you don't need to. They're very much about the mass effect, not the not always the individual soldier. If it's an officer or something like that, you might want to do your best, but certainly don't be scared to paint them because you don't want to mess them up. Just get in there, get painting. There we go, getting under the bear skins there. That's cool. Well, I know you have more Swedish fans than me, so if you do, it will be appreciated. Okay, well, I'll bear it in mind. It's always the way with these streams. I apologise. When I start concentrating on the small parts, I tend to go a bit quiet. It's not that I'm ignoring you, just I'm trying to concentrate. So, you know what I mean? Because otherwise you do stuff like this. Ludicrousness. Look at that. I've missed those entirely. So let's do that up to there. Bosh this around there. And I'm straying to the edges of the camera. I do apologise. Like these places, I'm just going over with a quick second coat, just to make sure I get a nice even finish, which is then going to take the wash as well as possible. There we are. It's a bit thin, that. Bung that on there. Right there. So again, we're having the same difficulty. Where does the strap end and the bare skin begin? That's okay. We shall overcome. A bit of red on him there. There we are. Now there's the odd little bit of white poking through. Not too concerned about that, because when we hit it with the wash, that should eliminate any of that. But obviously, if you can avoid that, then do. So that's all that done. I'm pretty happy with that. The chocolate brown, I think, is quite nice. I like that. It's between Swedes and Russians for the next purchase. Those Russian officers have them slightly leading at the moment. I'll tell you what, Dan, I'm going to curse your life here. Check out, and this is an army that I'm very, very tempted by, is Trent Miniatures, who I think are now sold by, I think they're sold by Warlord, actually. They do a range of Potemkin's armies, and they are so nice. They are insanely nice. So I'm very tempted to get some of those as well. Those are Revolutionary War era Russians, so 1790s, maybe a little bit before, but they fought the Ottomans there. They also fought the Qajar Persians as well. They are so nice. They are gorgeous minis. I'm glad my dominatrix is buying model soldiers for me. Yeah, the Swedish army will be heavy metal, but this is a guy who's just collecting a front rank army. So that is he's building his guns up for it. Right, so we come to it at last. I'm going to put those to one side. I'm going to let those dry. I think they're probably dry now, but just to make sure. So I've opened up the Nuln Oil Liquid Talent. I'm just going to bosh this on the metalwork here. I mean, look at that. Look at how bent that musket is. Blimey, Charlie. It's obviously the guy you send in when you're fighting in built-up areas and you need someone to shoot around corners, clearly. I hear these Rayleighs developed a it's like a rifle, but it's actually you slot the pistol in the end, and it's got like a camera at the butt end, so you can use that to fire around corners. This was some years ago. I don't know if it ever came into production, but I do remember reading about it. So here we go. Now, one of the things I always find with Nuln Oil is if you take it out of the lid, it always tends to be a lot stronger than if you take it out of the pot itself. So just be aware of that. Muskets paint the muzzle metallic and then pop some contrast yellow over the top. Okay. Well, that's okay. I shall have to try that one out. I've got the contrast yellow because I've been using it for my Württembergers, and I'm painting up a Marienburg Empire army, so they're yellow and blue. The yellow contrast, I have to say, that I don't know what the army painter one's like, but if it's anything like the Gens Workshop one, it's absolutely fantastic. The yellow contrast is great. Huge fan. It was on CSI. Oh, was it? All right, okay. There we go. So I've got it on the musket. I'm boshing it on the old bear skin as well. Like I say, you can be fairly liberal with it. Don't worry too much. Try not to miss out a guy though, like I've just done. There we go. Napoleonics really taught me that quantity has a quality all of its own. Yeah, absolutely. I think the painting gods are on the side of the big battalions, definitely. So bungalows are there. This is all the good stuff. Maybe a little bit thick on that musket there. I might have to go back and highlight that. Probably won't, but probably should do. Someone's just been promoted to the rear rank. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think these are about ready for basting. So next week, we shall look at that. I've got, how many's on here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I've got 19 here. So I've got another 6 or so to do, or 5. I've also been making great work on the officer's command base. Now, I don't want to reveal that yet, but I've not painted. I've not really started him. I think I've base coated him, perhaps. But the command base, I'm really pleased with. So I'll have to show that off in a future stream. Maybe not next week. Maybe the week after, when we've got all these guys done. I'm going to try and paint the extra ones in between streams, but just be warned, I'm away next weekend. But we've got the bank holiday this weekend, so I might be able to crash them out there. When I'm not doing them on the stream, I tend to be able to paint them a little bit quicker, not massively so, but a little bit. So hopefully by next week we'll be ready to base the entire battalion. I'll just do the back of these bayonets. There we go. This one here. There. So there we go. Just quickly have a look back, make sure everywhere's been washed. Work it in there. I think that about sees us done for today. Let me just hold them up. Hang on. See if I can get the camera to focus on this bit of paper. Probably not. Come on, camera, you can do it. I believe in you. I shouldn't do. Oh dear. So there we go. That's them done. I'm going to get some close-ups when they're done. We'll photograph them then. I think that's a good solid day's. Oh, you meant the bands come out. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I get you. I think that's a good solid day's painting. We've got all of the hats done now. We've got the white highlighted, and what was the other thing that we did? We also did the red on the hats as well. So I think that's a good evening's painting. Thank you so much for joining me, and I also want to thank, in particular, Andrew Breeden for that very generous super chat. So thank you very much for that. But that's it for today. I shall see you guys next Wednesday, and I shall see you then. Cheers, guys. Bye.